Hello, friends. This is Joey. Welcome to EnglishSpeakEz, your safe space for learning English step by step. Yesterday morning I walked into my favorite cafe and I stood there looking at the menu board. My mind went blank. I knew what I wanted, a simple coffee and a sandwich, but suddenly I couldn't remember how to say it in English. I felt nervous. My hands started to sweat a little. Have you ever felt that way? Standing somewhere, knowing exactly what you need, but the words just won't come out. Today, we're going to change that. We're going to learn how to order food at a cafe with confidence. And I want you to know something important right from the start. Ordering food is one of the most useful skills you can learn in English. Whether you're traveling, studying abroad, or just visiting a new cafe in your city, knowing how to order makes everything easier. It makes you feel independent. It makes you feel capable. By the end of our time together today, you're going to accomplish 3 wonderful things. First, you'll learn the exact words and phrases you need to order food and drinks confidently. Second, you'll understand how to ask questions about the menu, about prices, and about what's available. And third, you'll practice real conversations so that when you walk into a cafe tomorrow, you'll know exactly what to say. I'm so proud of you for being here. Learning a new language takes courage. Every time you practice, every time you try, you're getting stronger. We're going to take this journey together, slowly and carefully. I'll be with you every step of the way. And I promise you, by the end of today, you'll feel more confident than ever before. Let me tell you a story. Imagine Sarah. She just arrived in a new country last week. She's hungry. She's tired from her long flight. She sees a beautiful cafe across the street. The smell of fresh coffee and warm bread reaches her. She wants to go inside, but she's scared. What if she doesn't understand the menu? What if the person behind the counter speaks too fast? What if she makes a mistake and everyone looks at her? But Sarah is brave. She takes a deep breath and walks inside. The cafe is warm and bright. Music plays softly in the background. Behind the counter, a friendly young man smiles at her and says, "Hi, what can I get for you today?" And Sarah, remembering what she practiced, smiles back and says, "Can I have a cappuccino, please?" Just like that. Simple. Clear. And the young man says, "Of course." "What size would you like?" Sarah says, "Medium, please." He nods and says, "Anything else?" She looks at the display case and says, "Yes, and a chocolate muffin, please." He rings it up and says, "That'll be $6.50. Sarah hands him the money, waits for her order, and finds a quiet table by the window. Do you see what happened? Sarah did it. She ordered exactly what she wanted. She understood the questions. She answered clearly. And now she's sitting by the window, enjoying her coffee and muffin, feeling proud of herself. That's what we're going to help you do today. I know what you might be thinking. Maybe you're worried that your pronunciation isn't perfect. Maybe you think people will judge you if you speak slowly. Maybe you remember a time when someone didn't understand you and it made you feel embarrassed. I want you to know something. I've been there too. When I was learning my second language, I walked into a bakery and I tried to order bread, but I said the word wrong and the person looked confused. I felt my face turn red. I wanted to leave. But you know what I learned? That feeling of embarrassment, it doesn't last. And every single person who works in a cafe, in a restaurant, in any service job, they meet people from all over the world every single day. They're used to different accents. They're used to people who speak slowly. And most of them are kind. Most of them want to help you. Let me clear up some things you might have heard. Some people say you need perfect grammar to order food. That's not true. Simple words work beautifully. Some people say you need to speak fast like a native speaker. Also not true. Speaking clearly is much more important than speaking fast. Some people say you should memorize long, complicated sentences. Absolutely not necessary. Short, simple phrases are what real people use every day. Here's the truth. When you walk into a cafe, the person behind the counter wants to help you. They want to give you what you need. They're not testing your English. They're not judging you. They just want to take your order, make your drink, and see you happy. That's their job. And your job is simple too. Tell them what you want. That's it. Now, let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you're standing in line at a cafe. It's morning. The cafe smells like fresh coffee and baked goods. There are 3 people ahead of you. You watch them order. You listen to what they say. The first person says, "I'll have a latte, please." The barista nods and asks, "What size?" The person says, "Large, please." Simple, natural. The second person says, "Can I get an Americano and a blueberry scone?" The barista smiles and says, "Sure, for here or to go." The person says, "To go, please." Easy, comfortable. Now it's your turn. You step up to the counter. The barista looks at you with a friendly smile and says, "Hi there, what can I get for you?" And you say, "Can I have a cappuccino, please?" The barista says, "Absolutely. What size would you like? Small, medium, or large?" You say, "Medium, please." The barista nods and says, "Great. Anything else for you today?" You look at the pastries and say, "Yes, and a croissant, please." The barista says, "Perfect. For here or to go?" You say, "For here, please." The barista says, "That'll be $7. You hand over the money, you wait for your order, and you find a nice seat. Do you see how natural that was? Do you hear how simple the words were? Nobody used complicated grammar. Nobody spoke in long paragraphs. They just asked and answered simple questions. That's real English. That's how people actually talk. Let's start learning the phrases you need. The most basic phrase, the one you'll use most often, is "can I have" followed by what you want. Listen to how it sounds. "Can I have a coffee, please?" Say it slowly with me. "Can I have a coffee, please?" This phrase works for everything. "Can I have a tea, please?" "Can I have a sandwich, please?" "Can I have a muffin, please?" It's polite, it's clear, and it's perfect for beginners. Another way to order is to say "I'll have," followed by what you want. Listen. "I'll have a latte, please." This is very common. You'll hear native speakers use this all the time. "I'll have an orange juice, please." "I'll have a bagel, please." "I'll have a slice of cake, please." Both "can I have" and "I'll have" mean the same thing. Use whichever one feels more comfortable to you. You can also say "could I get" followed by what you want. Listen. "Could I get a cappuccino, please?" This sounds a little more polite, a little more formal, but it's still very natural. "Could I get a hot chocolate, please?" "Could I get a cookie, please?" All of these phrases work perfectly. Choose the one you like. Now let's talk about drinks. When you order coffee, you might hear the barista ask, "What size would you like?" The sizes are usually small, medium, and large. Sometimes cafes use special names like tall, grand, and venti, but you can always just say small, medium, or large, and they'll understand. You might say, medium, please, or I'll take a large, please. Simple and clear. Here's another common question you'll hear. For here or to go? This means, do you want to eat your food in the cafe, or do you want to take it with you? If you want to stay and sit in the cafe, you say, for here, please. If you want to take your food and leave, you say, to go, please. Sometimes people also say takeaway instead of to go, especially in some countries, but both are correct. Let me give you more examples with different foods and drinks. Imagine you want a tea. You walk up and say, can I have a green tea, please? The barista says, what size? You say, small, please. Easy. Or imagine you want a smoothie. You say, I'll have a strawberry smoothie, please. The barista says, what size? You say, large, please. Or imagine you want a sandwich. You say, could I get a chicken sandwich, please? The barista says, would you like that toasted? You say, yes, please, or no thank you. Now let's talk about asking questions. Sometimes you look at the menu and you see something you don't understand. It's okay to ask questions. You can say, what is this? While pointing at the menu. Or you can say, what's in this sandwich? To find out the ingredients. You can also ask, do you have any vegetarian options? Or, do you have anything without nuts? These questions are normal. People ask them every day. If you want to know the price of something, you can ask, how much is this? Or you can say, how much is the cappuccino? The barista will tell you the price. If you want to know if they have something specific, you can ask, do you have soy milk? Or, do you have gluten-free bread? Most cafes are very happy to help you find what you need. Here's something important to remember. When the barista tells you the total price, they might say it fast. Don't worry if you don't catch it the first time. You can smile and say, sorry, could you repeat that? Or, could you say that again, please? They'll say it slower. This happens to everyone. It's completely normal. Let me share another scenario with you. Imagine you walk into a cafe in the afternoon. You want something sweet with your coffee. You walk up to the counter and say, hi, can I have a cappuccino and a piece of carrot cake, please? The barista smiles and says, sure. What size cappuccino? You say, medium, please. The barista says, and would you like the cake heated up? You say, yes, please. The barista says, great, for here or to go? You say, for here, please. The barista says, that'll be $8.75. You hand over your card or cash, you get your receipt, and you wait for your order. See how the conversation flows. See how the barista asks questions and you just answer simply. That's all you need to do. You don't need long explanations. You don't need perfect sentences. Just answer the question with what you want. Sometimes you might want to add something to your order. Maybe you already ordered a coffee, but then you see a delicious cookie. You can say, and can I also get a cookie, please? Or, actually, can I add a cookie? The barista will say, of course, and they'll add it to your order. It's that simple. Now let's practice some specific sentences together. I'll say them, and I want you to repeat them in your mind or out loud. Get comfortable. Take a breath. Here we go. Can I have a coffee, please? Listen again. Can I have a coffee, please? Good. I'll have a latte medium size. Say it with me. I'll have a latte medium size. Excellent. Could I get a tea and a muffin? Let's try it. Could I get a tea and a muffin? Beautiful. For here, please. Short and simple. For here, please. Perfect. To go, please. Let's say it. To go, please. Great job. What size would you like? Now you'll hear this question. What size would you like? And you answer. Medium, please. Let's say it together. Medium, please. Wonderful. How much is that? Let's practice asking. How much is that? Good. Do you have soy milk? Let's try this question. Do you have soy milk? Excellent. Could you repeat that, please? This is so useful. Could you repeat that, please? Perfect. Can I also get a cookie? Let's add something. Can I also get a cookie? Great. That's all, thank you. When you're finished ordering, that's all, thank you. Beautiful. Now let me tell you about my own morning routine using some of these phrases. Every morning I wake up and I walk to my local cafe. I know the barista's there. When I walk in, I usually say, "Good morning. Can I have my usual, please?" They know I always get a medium cappuccino and a blueberry muffin. But sometimes I want to try something different. So I might say, "Actually, today I'll have a latte instead." Or I might say, "Could I get a croissant today instead of the muffin?" They always smile and say, "Of course." Sometimes I'm in a hurry. On those mornings I say, "To go, please." The barista puts my coffee in a paper cup with a lid, puts my muffin in a bag, and I'm on my way. Other times I have more time. I say, "For here, please." I sit by the window. I drink my coffee slowly, and I watch people walking by outside. Those are my favorite mornings. Think about your own routine. Where do you like to get coffee or food? Is there a cafe near your home or your work? Imagine yourself walking in there tomorrow. Imagine yourself saying, "Can I have a coffee, please?" Imagine the barista smiling at you. Imagine yourself sitting down with your drink, feeling proud because you ordered it yourself in English with confidence. Let me give you one more full example, a little bit longer this time. Imagine it's Saturday morning. You're meeting a friend at a cafe. You arrive first. You walk in and you go to the counter. The barista says, "Good morning. What can I get started for you?" You smile and say, "Good morning. Can I have a vanilla latte, please?" The barista says, "Sure. What size?" You say, "Large, please." The barista says, "Anything to eat?" You say, "Yes. Can I also get an almond croissant?" The barista says, "Of course." For here or to go? You say, "For here, please." The barista says, "Great. That'll be $9.20. You pay with your card." The barista says, "I'll bring it to your table." You say, "Thank you so much." You find a table, you sit down, and you wait for your friend. A few minutes later, your friend arrives. They go to the counter to order. You hear them say, "Hi, can I get an Americano, medium, and a blueberry scone, please?" You smile because you understand everything they said. Your friend pays, gets their order, and comes to sit with you. You both enjoy your drinks and your food, and you have a wonderful conversation. This is real life. This is how English is used every day in cafes all around the world. And now you know how to do it too. Before we finish, I want to remind you of something important. Learning English is not about being perfect. It's about communicating. It's about connecting with people. It's about being able to get what you need and feel confident doing it. Every time you practice, you get better. Every time you try, you grow stronger. So here's what I want you to do tomorrow, or the next time you have a chance. Go to a cafe. It can be any cafe, anywhere. Take a deep breath. Walk up to the counter and order something in English. Use the phrases we learned today. Can I have a coffee, please? That's all you need to start. And when you do it, when you successfully order your drink or your food, I want you to feel proud. Because you did it. You used English in real life. And that's amazing. Remember, the barista is not judging you. They want to help you. They want you to have a good experience. So speak clearly. Speak slowly if you need to. And don't worry about mistakes. Mistakes are how we learn. Mistakes are proof that we're trying. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Thank you for trusting me to guide you. Thank you for being brave enough to learn, to practice, to grow. I'm so proud of you. Remember, this is EnglishSpeakEz, your safe space for learning English step by step. We're in this journey together, and I can't wait to see how much you grow. Take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. Believe in yourself. You're doing better than you think. I'll see you in the next lesson, my friend. Until then, keep practicing, keep believing, and keep shining. Goodbye for now.